you, Mark, and hello from London. There have been a few interesting technical patterns this past week. For a change, I am not going to start with the latest weekly key reversals, but concentrate on the energy sector, as we have had two interesting technical patterns there, one fully developed and one still developing. Now, as many of you know, I normally concentrate on ICE Brent crude oil and ICE gas oil futures. So I'll start here with Brent crude oil. There are, as I mentioned, two patterns here. The developed one is one I highlighted late last week and which came about somewhat violently this past Monday. It is a diamond top, a small but a pretty good one. Those who can see my daily charts can see that target X for this pattern has already been achieved. Likewise for gas oil, a similar target X has been achieved. Now, though I do not look that much at Nymex WTI crude oil futures, there is a similar pattern there. And also Nymex RBOB, the gasoline contract. Interestingly, the Nymex heating oil contract has an imperfect diamond top, and when I've looked at it, I've tried to optimize it a bit. Now, I'm free to listen to another interpretation if anyone wishes to make one. Okay, so in all these, the diamond top is a pattern that has just been accomplished, but there is another pattern that is still in the making. In all five of these contracts, you see in Brent crude oil, gas oil, Nymex WTI crude oil, heating oil, and even RBOB, the drops that have happened over this weekend, as well as the big ones on Monday from the recent highs, has set up the criteria for monthly key reversals in all of them. It is all very, very interesting, as this pattern or patterns will not be resolved until the close of business on Friday the 30th of June. What is more, the actual current results are changing each day. Yesterday some were on monthly key reversals down, whilst others were on lesser outside months. Even today, some have moved away from monthly key reversals down to outside months. It's all very dynamic, and please remember, it's not over until it's over. We still have a week and a bit to go, so I'm sure I will give greater reference to these next week. Frankly, I could stop right there as regards interesting technical patterns, but we still have some interesting weekly technical patterns to look at, plus a special look at Bitcoin at the end. So last week we had a weekly key reversal up in US dollar against the Israeli shekel. What was interesting about this was how it was the second weekly key reversal up we'd seen in about 5 weeks. Plus, this was the first daily close up over the long moving average since September 2020. I think a message is being sent here, or it may just be me. Next, sugar white premium. A really interesting one this, as anyone who saw my weekly sugar market videos on Monday would note. 3 weeks ago we had a big weekly key reversal down that continued to push the market down along the middle tine of the huge May 2020 to February 2021 bearish Andrews pitchfork. This pattern has driven the market lower this year. Then last week, a really huge weekly key reversal up, a massive one, utilizing that same declining middle tine as a base to strike higher. This was followed on at the start of this week by a huge gap higher, an obvious follow on to last week's weekly key reversal up. However, since Monday, prices have tried to move back down and fill the gap. What is interesting in all this is that the bearish Andrews pitchfork, which is still alive and well and is still operational. Next is LME 3-month zinc, a weekly key reversal up. However, this was mired in what on the surface were general moves higher, but if you looked in deeper you would see that each session, that is so each day, was countered immediately after, such that at the start of last week saw a countering action to the 5th level. To me that stinks of indecision, heavy indecision. It leaves me wondering if we will have a bump and run reversal top, with or without a bear flag, or if the diamond continuation pattern from the start of this year is really the one in charge. Now, I covered this more fully in yesterday's metals videos. An obvious one now, Chicago wheat futures had a key reversal up last week. I'll deal with that more fully this coming Friday. Next, a more exotic one, SGX SciComm TSR20 rubber futures. This had a weekly key reversal up last week, the second within 4 weeks. But the contract hasn't really bounced up yet. Sorry for the pun there, but I really couldn't resist. Finally, the Felix Semiconductor Index had a weekly key reversal down. What is more, it had a follow-on lower on Monday, enough that we may have a monthly key reversal here as well. However, yesterday saw a pullback up, continue today, and it will depend on what we now do between today and the 30th. Finally, Bitcoin. Not a key reversal, but perhaps something more ominous. This past Monday saw a fall and close below the hugely important long moving average, currently at 31,335. This was the first close below the long moving average since May 2020. Quite a long time in the life of this coin. Yesterday was the second consecutive close below the long moving average, usually seen as a potential signal by some technicians as a clear bearish sign. Today there's been a recovery back up over it, but I keep a wary eye on it just in case. Now, why do you say that? Well, you may not deal in it or its futures, but plenty of people do, and they may take action with resultant impacts on other markets as margin calls are made. Just be wary. Now, for your guidance, Ethereum is already well below its long moving average. I am happy to share my videos, various charts, and answer any questions with anyone who is interested. And with that, I'll finish this section from London and hope you found these comments useful.